And an adversarial society puts us in all these ethical dilemmas at all times, because the whole concept is that that man is going to do his job, I'm going to do my job, and out of the clash of these jobs will come the truth and justice.
I'm not in religion, I'm not in politics, though I'm not certain you don't make money in politics. I'm in business.
Yeah, I vote conscience, and then sometimes I voted with unalloyed brilliance. And other times I voted with...
It's all I got in the world, and I'm putting it into your hands. And I'm telling you to be the head of this family like you're supposed to be.
American Playhouse presents Danny Glover and Esther Roll in the first complete and original presentation of Lorraine Hansberry's masterpiece, A Raisin in the Sun.
The season premiere of American Playhouse, Wednesday night at 7. You're watching member-supported Twin Cities Public Television. KTCA-TV, St. Paul, Minneapolis, Channel 2.
It takes two. Everybody wants to book big parties with a hip-hop band. I got hundreds of requests to use the very best top-rate rockin' musicians that I can. How many different combinations can I make with the players on file? Make from 5 keyboards, 4 basses, and 7 drums. I just multiply 5 times 4 times 7. I don't count my fingers or thumbs. 140's the answer. Did you think that's less or more? I can use this method with any size band, like a quartet, which has 1, 2, 3, 4. If I want to know how many quartets I could make from 5 keyboards, 4 basses, 7 drummers, 6 guitars, I multiply 5 times 4 times 7 times 6. Well, that's not so hard. 840's the answer. Are you at all surprised? Now let's try it with a quintet. That's a combo of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Use combinatorics, a faster way to count. Use combinatorics, you can multiply the amounts. Use combinatorics, it's so easy to do. Use combinatorics, when you need it, let the numbers work for you. If I want to know how many quintets I can make from 5 keyboards, 4 basses, 7 drummers, 6 guitars, and 4 tenor sax, I multiply 5 times 4 times 7 times 6 times 4. Then I got the facts. 3,360's the answer. Now that's really a lot. When I use combinatorics, look how many bands I've got. That's combinatorics, a faster way to count.
I was just thinking about the many ways there are to solve problems. Now, for example, I have a problem. The phone is ringing. In order to make it stop, I'll pick up the receiver. See, it works every time. Hello, Dirk. Why, it's you, Mommy dearest. I was just musing. No, musing, not mussing. I was musing about the many ways there are to solve problems. Oh, you say you have a problem? You're standing on a ladder that has 20 steps. You're on the 10th step right now, but the steps are slippery. I see. For every 2 steps you take, you slip back 1. And you want to know how many steps you will have to take before you reach the top. What might help solve this problem, Mommy dearest, is for you to visualize it. In other words, draw a picture. Yes, pictures are often a good way to solve problems. Try it. But not when you're standing on a slippery ladder, of course. Oh, well, why don't you puzzle it out? If your mother was on the 10th step of a 20-step ladder, and for every 2 steps up she took, she slid back 1, how many steps would it take for her to reach the top? Now use your noodle. If you can't figure it out, draw a picture. Now I'd better go see how the mother of me is doing, and I sure hope I don't have to scrape up a new one.
Mrs. Tuttle doesn't know she's on our hidden camera.
Oh, I've got a headache. It starts at the top of my head, roller skates to my forehead, then dribbles down my nose, hangs a Louis to my left earlobe, and then break dances down my neck.
It sounds like a data headache.
I have a data headache.
Too much information on her monthly budget and no way to organize it.
Oh, sure. I love numbers and figures, but sometimes they just give me a headache. If only I could see how they relate to each other.
Will you try a bar graph?
A bar graph?
A quick, easy way to organize and display data.
I'll try it.
Bar graph. Just one of the many tables, charts, and graphs available to you anytime, anywhere. When in doubt, chart it out.
My headache's gone, and now I can see what my monthly budget looks like. Thank you, bar graph.
Hi, I'm Reggie Cathy, and welcome to Square One Squares, the game show where you separate mathematical fact from fiction. Now let's meet our host, a man who touches all 4 corners, getting to Square One Squares, Mr. Larry Cedar.
Hi, everyone out there. How you doing? Welcome to Square One Squares. Today we're going to ask you whether you can tell the difference between mathematical truth and mathematical fiction. But before we get started, I would like you to meet my helper for today, the wonderful Cynthia Darlow.
Hi, Larry.
Hi, Cynthia. How you doing today?
Good.
All right. And our players for today, who will be answering the questions with either a truth or a bluff, from Square One TV, Arthur Howard and Beverly Mickens. Very well. Good to have you here.
Good, Larry.
Oh, thank you. And our contestants for today, representing red, is Nicole. How are you?
Fine.
Good. I understand you're a gourmet cook?
Yes.
You gonna make me lunch sometime or something?
Maybe.
No, you don't have to do that, but I bet it's great. And representing blue is Eugene. How are you today?
Fine.
And you make paper airplanes real well, like super dupers. Okay, well, it's good to have you on the show. Let's talk about the rules of the game. The object of the game is to get 3 squares in a row, just like tic-tac-toe, either vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. Now, to kick things off, we're going to give away the middle square. That's a wild square, which can be used by either blue or red at any time during the game. Here's the way we play the game. I'll ask you to pick a square. I will then ask our players a mathematical question. Now, one of them will tell you the truth, but one of them will tell you a bluff. Now, it's up to you to determine which of them is telling the truth. If you are right in that, your color wins the square. If you're wrong, your opponent's color will win the square. All right, now we flipped a coin. Who won the toss?
I did.
Nicole, go ahead, pick a square. Let's get started.
You.
You, the top right square. This is a video question, so everyone keep your eye on the monitor. Here is a 10 by 10 grid. Now, can you figure out, without counting, what number will be in the square with the star if you continue the numbers around the chart, just like that arrow? All right, without counting, what number will be in the square with the star if you continue the numbers around the chart? And first we will ask Beverly.
Okay, it's 39, yeah, because each side has 10 squares. 4 times 10 is 40, subtract 1, 39.
All right, and Arthur, your answer.
I think it's
4 times 9, 36. That's my answer.
There you have it. 2 answers, Nicole. Question for you is, who is telling the truth for the square?
Beverly.
Will the real truth teller please stand up? Well, who is it? There it is! Oh, my goodness. I thought for a second there we didn't know. Oh, I'm sorry. That means blue gets the square. You weren't sure there, were you? Arthur, how do you explain that?
Well, you count along the side, but you stop before you get to the corner. That's 9. And you do that 4 times. 9, let's see, all right, 9, 18, 27, 36. 4 times 9 is 36.
There you have it. Kind of a difficult one to visualize without really counting, so that was real tough, but nice try. Okay, Eugene, it's your turn. Pick a square.
1.
1. That will give you the win if you get this one. All right, here's the question, players. Cynthia is standing next to some money from the year 2099. How she got it, I'll never know. But it doesn't have any numbers on it. Instead, each bill has a special design of triangles. Now, you can tell how much a bill is worth by counting the number of triangles. The more triangles, the greater the value. So here's your question, players. Which of these bills is worth more, A or B? Beverly.
Okay, Eugene, I count 5 triangles in A, and let's see, there are 8 triangles in B. Therefore, B is worth more than A.
Okay. And Arthur?
Well, I count 5 triangles in A and only 4 triangles in B, so I'd say A is worth more.
Okay. Taking a look at that futuristic money, you have 2 answers there, Eugene, for the square and the win. Who is telling the truth, Arthur or Beverly?
Beverly.
Will the truth teller please stand? Absolutely right! Eugene, you got it? You win the game. Sensational with 3 in a row. I'd like to find out from you, Beverly, how did you come up with that answer? That's real difficult.
See, because they're overlapping triangles in B. I mean, look, they're the obvious triangles, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. But there are 4 more that aren't as obvious. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 more. 4 and 4 is 8.
There you have it. That would have been very difficult if you hadn't really been able to look at it and picture it. That was just a super job. Nicole, you played really hard, and as a runner-up prize, you get, oh, here, I'll shake your hand. There you go. I wasn't sure. You will get a runner-up prize of a Square One TV sweatshirt. There you have it. And Eugene, super job. Real quick game there for you. For winning, you get a Square One TV sweater. So thank you both very, very much for playing, and thank you for helping Cynthia, and of course, Beverly and Arthur. It's always great to have you here. Super job, you know. You guys play very well. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll have to do this again sometime. And once again, we'd like to have you back. And Reggie, thank you, and we'll see you next time on Square One Squares. Take care. Bye-bye. Good job.
That's not called prestidigitation. That's illusion. Prestidigitation is sleight of hand. I have something that's neither one, though. This is mathematics. This has to do with a couple of coins. We have a dime and a penny.
Yes.
Now, Louisa, I want you to pick up those 2 coins. Don't let me see which coin is in which hand.
Okay.
Now, I want you now to watch very carefully, because you're going to do this in just a second. Are you
Whatever
watching?
he says, Louisa.
All
Okay.
right.
Now, I want you now to do a little mathematics for me. I want
Okay.
you to multiply the coin, the value of the coin, in your right hand
Yes.
by either 4, 6, or 8.
Okay, got it.
Have you? Okay. Now I want you to multiply the value of the coin in your left hand by 3 or 5 or 7.
Okay, I did it.
Like that? You have the 2
Cross
answers?
the two. Yes.
Now add the 2 answers together.
All right.
Have you done that?
Yes.
What is the answer?
43.
43. That
Whoa.
means then that the penny is in your left hand and the dime is in your right hand. You see there?
How did you do that?
I'll explain. If the answer is even, it means that the penny is in your right hand. If the answer is odd, it means the penny is in your left hand. And therefore, the dime has to be in the other
Because
hand.
1 is an odd number?
He's
Of
right.
course, of course. Now, let me show you this. I'm going to
that
do
is
this a little
so-
easier. I'm not going to work with this. I'm going to give you these 2 coins, and you do the same sort of thing. Pick them up so that it's a nickel and a penny, okay? Now, don't let me see. I saw the way you picked them up just then. So
Oh, you didn't?
yes, I did. I was watching. You didn't give me
I didn't
attention.
even see it.
Okay, now shake them up so that I don't know which order is which, okay?
Okay, now you don't know.
All right, fine. Now, I want you to multiply the value of the coin in this hand by 17.
Okay.
You got it?
Uh-huh.
The nickel is in that hand. You know, is it right? It
He
is.
is right.
You see, if you'd have said yes right away, then I'd have known it was the penny. But 17 times 5 is a little tough. Now, that's not
But I did it.
mathematics.
That's
That's
sneakiness.
psychology.
You are one sneaky man, you Blackstone, you.
Mr. Blackstone, what? Can you do something about the magic shoe?
I timed him.
The story you are about to see is a fib, but it's short. The names are made up, but the problems are real.
It was Tuesday, 9:43 p.m., and the Los Angeles Dodgers had just won their first game in a row in 10 days, which allowed their manager to go off his diet. He'd been starved for a victory. I was working the day watch out of Mathnet. The boss is Thad Green. My partner is George Franklin. My name is Monday. I'm a mathematician. We were working late because we had a lot of paperwork to catch up with. In mathematics work, like a number of professions, sometimes there can be an awful lot of paperwork, but it sure pays to keep up with it. We had to write up our report for Monday and decided to look at a couple of scenes from that show to jog our remembering tanks. We had received a call from a young man named Walter Tripling who complained that a mansion he was house sitting was haunted. You say your house was haunted, Walter?
Yeah, it sure is. That's what has me scared. Little Louie is scared, too.
Little Louie, it turned out, was a parrot who used to belong to a once famous old-time comic named Roscoe Fatty Tissue, who had recently shuffled off this mortal coil and left the house to the parrot, and the parrot to Walter.
Mr. Tissue didn't have a family, except me. I was like family, you know, his friend, and I used to come over and listen to him talk about the good old days. Then he and little Louie would perform. Sometimes I'd read stories to them. This is where little Louie lives.
Walter showed us a fantastic parrot cage, built totally to 1/12 scale where his ward, little Louie, resided. Then Walter told us that lately he had been hearing ghostly sounds coming from the house at night. We told him there were no such things as ghosts.
I don't stand a chance with a ghost like you.
Well, Walter, all I can say about your ghost is... It sounds like...
The wind. That's it.
What's it, Kate?
I finished my reports, my timesheets, and my estimated monthly budget. I'm going to call it a day.
A night, Kate. Call it a night. It's pitch dark out.
Right. You finished all your paperwork, George?
Oh, sure. I do it every day so it doesn't mount up and keep me here late at night like you.
But you are here late at night, George, like me.
Well, yes, but just to work on the train.
Why don't you work on that at home? Doesn't Martha miss you?
Oh, sure, but see, tonight's her night for Kung Fu.
I didn't know Martha was taking a Kung Fu class.
She isn't. She's teaching it. Mathnet, frankly. Uh-huh. Well, did you check it out? Okay, okay. Okay, I'll stop by on my way home.
Anything wrong?
Remember Walter Trepling from yesterday's episode?
Of course. Why, was that him?
He. Yep. He's at Fatty Tissue's house and he thinks he hears another ghost. I said I'd stop by.
I'll go with you. It was late and we were both tired. Usually when you're trying to solve a problem, it is best to go at it when you're fresh, wide awake, and rested. But with Walter and little Louie, we had no choice.
What's happened, Walter? Came over here about an hour ago and put little Louie to bed, and I heard moaning again.
Walter, we showed you yesterday. It was the wind.
Yesterday, maybe it was the wind, but not tonight, I'm sure.
How can you be sure?
Because there's no wind.
He's right.
It's definitely coming from up those stairs.
Somebody's up there, I tell you.
Where's little Louie?
Nevermore, 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 nevermore.
He goes to high places when he's afraid.
How many rooms are upstairs, Walter?
6, I think. Yeah, 6.
Let's go up. It's time to expose our ghost. Come on, George, what's the matter?
Kate, I was just thinking. 6 rooms. The probability of our picking the right room on the first try is 1 in 6. Not very high.
Come on, George.
Not afraid of ghosts, are you, Mr. Franklin?
Don't be silly. There are no such things as ghosts. It's just when you're solving a problem, it's good to examine all the possibilities.
Come on, George.
Of course, if we each take a room, our chances are 3 in 6. It's 3 times better.
Uh-huh. Well, well, well. If it isn't our ghost.
1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3.
What is your name, Mr. Ghost?
Norman.
First or last?
First.
Want to try for a last?
Tedge.
Why are you trespassing in his house, Mr. Tedge?
I'm not. My uncle used to own this house.
Who was your uncle?
Fatty Tissue.
Here's Fatty.
Fatty Tissue was your uncle?
Well, he was my great uncle.
You never mentioned your name to me, and it's not in the will.
So he forgot. But I still...
Sir, you're in a house where you don't belong, and you were trying to scare a small boy. A boy half your size.
Here's the will, Mr. Franklin.
I hereby bequeath my home to little Louie, and all my earthly possessions to Walter Trepling, who shall be the guardian of little Louie. Doesn't mention you, Mr. Tedge.
Want to try us with an explanation?
Sure. Where should I start?
Start at T.
T for top?
T for truth.
Okay, okay. Fatty Tissue had an aunt who was a cousin to a woman who knew my mother, okay? I figure that makes me some kind of distant relative. And I know Fatty. Fatty left a fortune. I came to find it and claim it.
I think you're reaching, Mr. Tedge.
I deserve this house more than that molting bag of feathers.
Sticks and stones can break my bones. 1, 1, 2, 3.
What makes you think that Fatty Tissue left a fortune, Mr. Tedge?
Listen, he made plenty of money, and he made it before taxes took it all, too. Plus, he had a great agent who cut beautiful deals for him.
What kinds of deals?
On his last 3 pictures, he got 100% of gross.
100% of gross? That's everything.
He made it big, and he didn't spend it. Therefore, it has to be somewhere.
So you were trying to scare people away so you could find the money, eh?
Yes. Call me a hopeless romantic, but I love treasure hunts.
You better make tracks, Mr. Tedge.
Good night, Norman. Good night, Norman.
We're going to let you go this time, Mr. Tedge, but don't show up around this neighborhood, or you'll be looking down the barrel of a warrant for your arrest for trespassing. Now, get out.
Come on, Walter. We'll help you bed down the bird.
That's okay, Mr. Franklin. I can do it. That's one thing I can do.
1 thing, 2 things, 3 things.
Thank you both.
Sure thing, Walter. We should have listened to you more carefully the first time. Good night. Let's call it a day, partner.
Night.
I didn't get nearly enough sleep last night.
So did I, Kate. Look at this.
What is it?
Fatty Tissue's will.
Looks like a bunch of squares.
It says, Walter, this is for you to puzzle out. What do you make of that?
I don't know, George.
Looks like some kind of pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the dimensions of these squares. 1 inch. 1 inch. 2. 3. 5. Mathnet, frankly. Hello, Walter. Really? Are you sure? Okay, we'll be right there.
Walter Trepling again?
None other.
Another ghost?
Worse. Missing person.
Oh.
Missing Avis, if you want to be specific. Little Louie has flown the coop.
100%